Today I'll be making the classic street dessert called Lokma, which is a sweet dough ball traditionally deep fried then soaked in syrup for a crunchy outer layer and a soft and juicy middle. This tasty dessert, which is often made in the month of Ramadan, can be enjoyed at any time and served with a multitude of toppings. Welcome to my channel, where I like to share with you the delights of the Turkish cuisine. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing for new recipes posted weekly. This is what you'll need to make approximately 80 to 90 dough balls. Start by making the syrup. Pour 800 grams of granulated sugar into a medium-sized pan. Add 600 grams of cold water and a slice of fresh lemon. Take to the stove and mix to dissolve the water on medium heat. Slowly bring the pan to the boil, stirring regularly. Once the water begins to boil, simmer on low heat for 10 minutes, then put aside to cool down. In the meantime, prepare the dough. Add 1 packet or 7 grams of instant dry yeast to 800 grams of plain flour. Add a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. Mix thoroughly to evenly distribute. Then create a well in the middle and pour in 700 ml of warm to hot water, but not boiling water. Start mixing with a spoon before going on to mixing with your hands. This dough is very hydrated at about 88% hydration, and you may need to add a little more water to get the right consistency. Cover with cling film and a tea towel and leave for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you'll see a transformation in the texture of the dough as it becomes more elasticated. Stretch and fold for a minute or two, then cover again for 30 more minutes. After the second resting period, you can see how the dough has risen and formed bubbles on the top. Remove the air, then we're ready to start deep frying our dough balls. Be sure to heat enough oil so that the dough balls float in it and do not touch the bottom of the pan. I've used 430 ml each of sunflower and olive oil, but you can use only sunflower or vegetable oil if you prefer. Check that the oil is hot, then using a teaspoon dipped in some oil, scoop portions of the dough one at a time and drop into the hot oil. Repeat until you have filled the pan. Don't worry if you end up with some interesting shapes, they'll all taste fantastic in the end. Keep turning the dough balls so that they brown evenly on all sides, and when they have reached a light golden color, remove into a nearby tray or dish. Repeat the process until you have used up all the dough. We will be double frying these, so only leave them in the pan until they are a light golden color for now. The first round completed, time to fry them for the second time. This method is easier to manage and tends to result in a crispier finish, which is what we're aiming for. Crispy on the outside and soft in the middle. So refry all of the dough balls in batches, and this time when removing them, drop them into the syrup, which should be completely cooled by this stage. Transferring the syrup into a bowl helps with the cooling process. Whilst the first batch is soaking in the syrup, refill the pan with the second batch. When you feel the lokmas have soaked long enough, remove them from the syrup. The longer you leave them, the more syrup they will soak up and the sweeter and softer they will be. In any case, remove them before the second batch is ready to be dropped into the syrup. A key note here is to make sure you use a separate skimmer or spoon for the syrup and oil, and don't allow the water to get onto the spoon whilst dropping the lokmas into the syrup, as this will make the oil splatter. This is the third and final batch for me, but yours will depend on the size of your pan and how many you can fit in at one time. Soak in the syrup for as long as needed, then drain into the serving dish. Time to see if we've achieved the desired crispy outer layer and the soft middle. Well, they're definitely crispy and very juicy. There are various ways these lokmas can be served, and here are just a few ideas. Serve in individual bowls topped with either crushed walnuts or pistachios, cinnamon, sugar, coconut flakes, or top with any leftover syrup. Either way, they will taste absolutely divine and best served hot or within 2 hours of making them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more delicious recipes posted weekly. Thank you for watching and see you next time.